No such thing as a free lunch. Now, other things to consider, Equimax payments amounts are guaranteed, and they're guaranteed to be done after 20 years. You can pay them to age 18, you can pay it beyond 18. It's got a guaranteed minimum cash value, right? So there's our safety net, a guaranteed minimum cash value. It has no risk of cash value loss. It has life insurance protection, as well as ways to access that cash tax-free, none of which an RESP has. Now at this point in the presentation, I know it can look like that I'm trashing RESPs. That's not what I'm doing. RESPs is a good product. But what we're doing here is comparing a good product with an exceptional product. No matter what path your client ultimately decides to take, RESP or Equimax, they're doing something good for their child's future. In fact, they can do both. There's no rule against that, right? But ultimately, if we know that money is tight and we only can afford to do one plan, I think we should get the one that gives us the best bang for the buck, right? And in my admittedly biased opinion, I think that is Equimax. This is about maximizing the Canada Child benefit that they're receiving every month. In fact, they just increased it for some income levels. If they're getting $200, $300, $500 a month, I don't see any reason why we can't shave off $200 of that, $250, and put it towards a plan like this, right? If the parents aren't getting a child care tax benefit, well then they can afford the plan anyways, right? So, if we know the affordability is there, if we know the product is really good, it's kind of a no-brainer. So from a parent's perspective, that's why they should buy the product. Now, I've got 20 minutes left. I want to go into why you should sell it. Let's look at it from a business perspective. We know that this isn't the only option for building a financial foundation for a child, right? We've really got four. RESP, scholarship, RESP, universal life, whole life. Let's talk about each of these. So an RESP, like the ones you get through a mutual fund or at a bank, are the most flexible in terms of RESPs. It's a good product, nothing wrong with it. So why don't agents sell it? Because you don't make any money. If you do a $100 deposit into a traditional RESP or $200 at a 5% commission, I'm talking $5, maybe $10. It's not worth the gas to go see the client, right? So, independent brokers like you guys, not just at WFG, but across the industry, don't sell them. No point, right? No money. Okay, so how does the industry respond? Industry goes, people need RESPs, and agents need to make money. How can we do both? In comes scholarship plan RESPs, like Heritage, Knowledge First, Global Financial. That's their business. Now what they did was took the RESP and front-loaded all of the fees. So the first year or two of the client's payments go not towards building cash, but to paying your commission. So now, your average agent could make a little bit of money selling RESPs. Right? RESP is an easy sell. Right? So now, we're making maybe 400 points. Okay? Now, at WFG, we do the referrals, right, for Heritage. And your average is going to get you about 400 points. give or take, right? Okay, so now we have a product that's very little work and paying us okay, some okay money. So this becomes very popular at WFG. Very popular. Okay, that's the RESP side. How about the permanent life insurance side? We've got universal life, which is going to give us great cash growth, right? Going to give us tax advantages. It's going to give us ways to access that cash tax-free, all of that stuff we just talked about. Universal life can do as well. But with universal life, our comp is based upon the cost of insurance, right? And what's the cost of insurance on a 1-year-old? Very low. So your average UL may give us maybe 500 points. We're talking about a dramatic increase in complexity for not a dramatic increase in comp. So is it worth it for your average agent? Am I going to do all that paperwork, all that work, when I could just do a heritage referral and still get a good product in place? Maybe not, right? So most people, heritage was the sweet spot of comp and work, right? Okay, now we've got our magic box comp, or strategy, and our average sale is $225 a month. I know this, I've run the numbers, I've looked at the history. So at $225 a month, that's $3,500 points. And gives us a lot of the same benefits of the UL, plus the safety net of a whole life. Right? Still gives us tax-free growth, still gives us ways to access that cash tax-free, still be used in a number of different ways, but now we have guaranteed minimum cash values and guaranteed to be done after 20 years. Okay. Now we're talking. So, if we're going to compare whole life to RESP from a product feature standpoint, we just did that. I think there's a pretty compelling reason why to sell Equimax, right? Just from a product perspective. Now from a comp perspective on your side, I think there's a pretty compelling reason why to do this as well, right? And if Equimax can help you even sell more UL, that's even better. So if you're doing 5,000 or 10,000 points a month just on UL, I'm saying keep it there. Even if it's with my competition. You guys are happy with Ivari or IA, whoever you do whole life or UL with, keep doing it. Right? I'm not here to disrupt your business. But by doing this, we've identified a new market, and all of a sudden now it's a lucrative one. So if you do one kid's whole life per week, what's that going to do to your business? It's going to explode it. Right? Let's think about the average family. We got mom, we got dad, and we've got 2 kids. Kid 1 and kid 2. Let's say we show them our whole life plan, right? They decide to do $200 each kid, right? Maybe mom and dad don't have any life insurance. They know they need it, but they've been putting it off. You sell them on the kids' plans. You show them the Equimax versus RESP presentation. They're like, okay, I'm in, let's do it. Okay, we are doing a $200 investment in your child's future. Now the way I'm making this tax advantaged is by wrapping it up inside of a life insurance policy. Now we don't need to worry about the life insurance now. That will come in handy when your kid's an adult. We're going to focus on that cash growth. And you show them all the ways that the plan grows. But can I review your life insurance situation to make sure that I don't hit any snags? Of course they say yes, And at that point, you sell them on a universal life, right? Maybe you do a $250 plan for dad and a $250 plan for mom. You get, let's say, 2,500 points on this one, 2,500 points on that one, 3,000 on this one, 3,000 on that one. One family. What was that, 11,000 points? 11,000 on one family. And the product's good. You're not selling this because it pays you so much. You're selling this because it's the right product for the client. The fact that it does pay you so much is a lucky bonus. So what a lot of teams have begun to do when they begin to integrate this strategy into their businesses is essentially their UL business stays the same or even grows. But all of a sudden, where most teams at WFG have never really done whole life a lot, because it was always positioned as an alternative to UL, I don't look at it that way. I don't see this as an alternative to UL. I see this as an opportunity to crack a market that has been untapped. And by doing that, you will dramatically increase the kind of business that you do. That means your part-timers are going to go full-time a lot more quickly. That means you can go full-time a lot more quickly. That means you can dramatically increase your compensation personally, and if all your downlines do it as well, well, hey, now we've got rings, we got jackets, we're going on trips. Hawaii, right? Hong Kong, Israel, it's all coming up, right? That's the business strategy. Now I've got 10 minutes left. Questions? Lay them on me. Let's go.
Can you kind of do the affordability portion? I missed that.
Affordability?
Yes, because
Sure.
that's very important too.
All we're going to do when it comes to affordability is ask the parent what they're receiving from the child care tax benefit. And given that budget, that's going to determine how much life insurance they purchase. So if you come in at a $150 budget, you click solve for face amount, put in 150, and that calculates the face amount we need. That way we don't need to talk about death benefit for a newborn, because that could make a parent squeamish. If they want to do $300, then we just put in 300 and it recalculates the face amount. That's how we make it affordable.
Could you kind of explain or how you would explain, I guess, the tax advantages to a client? Because that kind of came up. It's just kind of like deferring.
So there's two ways that an Equimax is tax advantaged. Number one, the growth is tax free. Just like on an RESP, the growth is tax free. Now, an RESP is fully taxable when it's withdrawn. There are two ways that we can access cash inside of our Equimax. We can withdraw it straight out, or we can take a collateral loan. If we do a collateral loan, there's no tax, right? So that's extremely tax efficient, right? No tax is good. But if we do a withdrawal, it's taxable as dividend income. Dividend income has a lower tax burden than a registered plan like an RESP or RRSP. Okay? So if you withdraw $3,000 from your RESP, you'll pay more tax than if you withdrew $3,000 from an Equimax. Okay? So that's the tax. Question?
Maybe I misunderstood the last time you were here. You had showed us at the time, but it showed us part the kid was getting $400 for the rest of their life. Is that the same? Is this the same plan that you had the last time?
So that's just another strategy.
That's just another strategy. Okay.
Yeah. So if they put in $200, let's say $200 for 20 years, from birth until age 20, at 24 they can take out $400 forever.
Right.
So that's pretty good too. I don't typically show that strategy a lot, just because I think that there's a bigger upside by just waiting until retirement and taking out $40,000, right? Because, you know, listen, your policy's paid off at 20 years old, right? You begin to build a career. You know, I'm in my 30s now. Would I love $400 a month? Sure, absolutely. Would it be game changing for my existence? Probably not, right? But an extra $50,000 in retirement, that would be significant.
So that part where you said that the dividend could pay for the OSAP loan,
Yeah,
is that not the same? It's not the same thing.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But just so that $400 concept assumes that you keep taking it even when OSAP is paid off, right? So essentially, it's the same. It's a withdrawal concept, but we stop it so that our cash value can recuperate for the next, 40 years. Question of that.
Technical wise, just wanted to know, so they can change their dividend payout option anytime.
No, if you choose paid up additions, you choose paid up additions.
So how can you, when they're 24, decide to say pay them cash instead of buying more insurance?
You're not paying cash, you're just withdrawing from the existing cash value. So you're getting paid a dividend of say $3,200, but that year you're withdrawing 36.
Oh, so we're not touching the dividend.
You're not
really.
you're not technically
Okay, I see.
paying the dividend in cash,
Got it.
but in effect, that's what you're doing, right?
I see.
What paid up additions really is, I'll go into my little drawing thing here again. Come on. Oh no, is my thing running out of battery? There we go. So, we get our dividend. Let's say we start off with $250,000 in life insurance and our dividend is $100. Our very first dividend payment. This $100 gets paid into the cash value. But a portion of it, this $5, is used to purchase more life insurance. So maybe the next year, we have slightly more death benefit. And that's going to entitle us to maybe a larger dividend. So this was paid into the cash value. This is used to buy more life insurance. Now, because we have more life insurance, we have a bigger dividend, and maybe and then this buys more life insurance, which gives you a bigger dividend, and so on and so on and so on, so that every year our dividend is getting larger, every year our cash value is growing at a faster and faster rate, and every year our life insurance death benefit is growing. So we can start off with a very small life insurance policy, affordable for the parent and cheap for the to insure for the child. And then after 20 years it's paid off, where it's still affordable. But because of this compounding effect, by the time they're in their 60s, it's massive. Probably have more cash value than they could buy if they did it, 3 times the cost UL, right? At 35, as which most of our clients are doing, right? So the advantages are massive. You're getting free money from the government anyways. Might as well use it to build something like this. Question.
Okay, I'm thinking about the other kids, because I may have like family, friends who have kids. They're not 0 years old,
Yeah.
but they're not yet 10, or probably not yet 18. What do we offer them?
So the question was, you have friends that have kids older than yours?
Older than age 0.
Okay.
So what's the age cutoff?
So just
on
like-
what can we offer?
well, you can offer this from 15 days old to 80 something years old. So literally anybody can buy it.
Because mostly, like they would say, it's a very expensive product. That's what I'm getting at. It's a very expensive product,
Yeah.
and it's more ideal for age 0. But
I
they
would say-
have kids that's older.
It's not necessarily like it's expensive in the sense where you can't lower it to just the cost of insurance like you can do with the UL, right? If you compare this dollar for dollar against the UL, it's actually going to have similar cash growth. But when it comes to this strategy, education, income, retirement, legacy, under 6 or 7, you're pretty safe. Just like any investment, the shorter your time horizon, the more money you got to put in. So if they want to use this for education and they're starting at 10 years old, they're going to have to put in more. There's no way around it. Right?
Yep.
Just like if they were starting an RESP at 10, they'd have to put in more. So there's no real magic to this. The longer you wait, the shorter your time horizon. The shorter your time horizon, the more money you got to put in. Now, if you start this plan at 10, your income at retirement and death benefit and everything else is still going to be strong. The only factor is that education part. Because we've shortened our time horizon to pay for education, it's going to be tougher. But you could do a $400 per month payment and stop paying at 10 years, make it 10 pay, and they'll have cash value for education, and it will grow for everything else as well. Last question before I gotta leave.
Once you choose the monthly payment, you can't go higher or lower.
You can go higher, but you can't go lower.
Oh, so you can't go higher.
Yeah.
So you can start at 100, let's say,
Yeah.
and then they said let's do 200. That's okay.
The room to go higher is not as dramatic as UL. So if you start at 100, you may be able to go to 150 or 160, but it'll cap out there.
Okay.
A question back here. If you want to make a lump sum payment, you said over 20 years, right? So you want to make a lump sum payment every 5 years. How does that work?
Can't.
Can't do it?
No. Because, so, you can do that in UL because most of the time you're not close to the MTAR line,
Okay.
right? So you've got the room to make those lump sum payments. A paid up addition's whole life is very close to the MTAR line. So you don't have that padding to make lump sum payments. You know what I'm saying? So if someone does have a lump sum, typically speaking, that's more of a high net worth strategy. You put it into an annuity and then use the payouts from that annuity to fund the life insurance policy. That's the strategy. From a high net worth perspective, the reason why this is popular is because if you've got $10 million, let's say, sitting in various investments, and your goal is wealth preservation, then a lot of it is going to be tied up in fixed income, right? GICs and things like that. A product like this is going to offer you the safety of fixed income, but the growth potential of an equity. So if you've got $10 million and half of it is in fixed income, you'll peel off $1 million of that, let's say, pop it into an annuity, and then pay the life insurance $100,000 a year, let's say, for 10 years. Now that's fantastic if you're the agent to get one of those, right? That's big money, but that would be more of a high net worth strategy. You're not going to take, 6 or 7 grand, pop it in an annuity, and use it to pay your kids' education. It just doesn't really make sense. All right, guys, I got to run to another training. I really appreciate your time today.
Any questions, please forward it to me. I text you, then have Taylor to answer us.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
There's no CE credits for software training, unfortunately, but